I do believe that in my experience too, I feel like a lot of people in season 5 got further because of the drama, because of the TV. I do believe that. And so coming on the second round, I even told myself, hey, I'm going to be a little bit more boisterous. I'm going to be a little bit more on 10 because this seems to be what they want. You know what I'm saying? And I told myself before the show, but when I got there, I was still like, you know what? That ain't me. I'm still going to just play the game the way I see how to play it. And so I feel like in that he did what he had to do to show his skill set and show that, hey, I'm here to play the game. And then remember, we had a lot of big personalities. You know, we had you on the show. We had what's his name? Steven. So we had a lot of big personalities, and from their seasons, they were a little controversial. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like you have to do what you have to do to play the game.
Willie, welcome to A Bunch of Losers podcast. Look at you, already started. What are you drinking?
I am drinking vodka cranberry with a splash of Sprite.
You still on vacation?
I am. I absolutely is.
Willie, it's 9:55 a.m. Your nails are done and you have a vodka cranberry. Gotta love it.
I got a little tan.
Well, tell me about this trip.
So it was a little quick cruise to Costa Maya, Honduras, and Cozumel, celebrating my birthday.
Okay.
So I left last Sunday and returned this past Sunday. And so, yeah.
Happy birthday. When was your birthday?
The 25th. I'm a Pisces.
Oh. Isn't that a water sign?
It is.
And then you're out on the water? Look at you.
Yeah. That's my...
Okay. Were you life of the party on this boat?
So I was, and I actually, I actually won. They had a karaoke superstar where you get to sing with a live band, and I won first place and got me a bottle.
Look at you.
And yeah, so the ship don't owe me nothing.
That's awesome.
So what you been up to?
Well, working a lot, cooking a lot, getting this podcast going again, all kinds of stuff, man. Some big life changes. We won't share those on the podcast today because everyone's not ready for that news. But let's go back. Let's inform the viewers. What were you doing? Where were you? What were you doing before you got the wild hair up your ass to go audition for MasterChef? And what was the catalyst? Was there anyone telling you, Willie, you got to do this, or what was happening?
So we're talking about the first time or the second time?
The first time. We'll get to the second time, but let's just catch everybody up on the first time.
The first time, I had been watching the show for a minute, and they had never come to Houston. And so the year that they came to Houston, I'll never forget, it was October 2013. I had been practicing what I was going to make for months in advance, and practicing on delivering the dish, talking to people. I did all of that, right? And so then this day comes. They had a little issue. One of the previous contestants had committed suicide. So at my audition, everybody's energy was like sapped, and so here I am trying to lighten up the mood and stuff. And so that was my audition. And then when I got the call that I had made it, I was literally on the toilet shitting, and yeah, I got the call that, hey, you made it.
And did you say, "Oh shit"?
Right, literally. Oh shit. And I believe I want to say I had got up from the toilet and went to tell my grandmother and them that I made it and forgot to wipe or something. I think I did. Yeah. I was that excited. I eventually went back and did it, but at that
I
moment,
can't
it was just
with
I had to
Willie.
share the news.
Willie, I can't with you, man. Oh my goodness, you are the
Shit
funniest.
happens.
Oh boy. Well, that's how we're starting it off today, folks. A vodka cranberry and a shitty entrance.
A shitty entrance. That's it. That's it.
Okay.
Literally.
But what made you audition? Was it just the fact that they were there and you were a fan of the show, or like was your grandmother like, "Hey, you need to do this"? Any family members rooting you on? What happened?
So I originally I had just started like making cinnamon rolls, and I always loved baking. That was my first, passion. And then I had got a little clientele, and I had got a contract with the postal office making cinnamon rolls for breakfast and stuff like that. And so I was like, you know what? Let me see what I can do with these cinnamon rolls and how this can take me to the next level. And what better way to audition? And so that's what ultimately got me there, was that small little business, which I thought was going to be a little hobby. Um, and I didn't know nothing about sales and anything like that. And so I thought I was just doing it. And then once I started doing my own homework and how I can market myself, that's what we did.
Amazing. Well, that's good to know that our tax dollars were going to something good.
Right.
Man, of all the things I've heard these tax dollars get spent on, your cinnamon rolls, that's the best one. Man, okay, so let me ask you a question. We're going to kind of jump around a little bit. Obviously, we know how Christian was on season 12, and I'm not trying to just bring up drama, but the drama's there. We know how
Uh-huh.
Christian acted and how he was. Was Christian like that on season 5? Was this a whole new like side of Christian that we had never seen before?
Um, I think on season 5, especially for all of us, it's your first time on the show, correct? And
Right.
so you're still trying to navigate who you are and how you want to play the game. And I think that season 5 set the tone for what was to come for season 12.
Okay.
Um, I do believe that in my experience too, I feel like a lot of people in season 5 got further because of the drama, because of the TV. I do believe that. And so coming on the second round, I even told myself, hey, I'm going to be a little bit more boisterous. I'm going to be a little bit more on 10, because this seems to be what they want. You know what I'm saying? And I told myself before the show, but when I got there, I was still like, you know what? That ain't me. I'm still going to just play the game the way I see how to play it. And
Yeah,
so I feel like in that he did what he had to do to show his skill set and show that, hey, I'm here to play the game. And then remember, we had a lot of big personalities. We had you on the show. We had what's his name? Steven.
oh
So
yeah,
we had a
Steven.
lot of big personalities, and from their seasons, they were a little controversial. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
I feel like you have to do what you have to do to play the game.
for sure. Because it was weird for me because obviously season 5 was the last season I watched before I went and auditioned, and
Right.
you know, I was a fan. I I was pretty much a fan of everybody except for Cutter, and and it was kind of a bummer to see Christian act the way he did when like I was rooting for him in season 5. So that was weird. Um, and we'll come back to some of that drama. What I do want to know is where were you and what was going on? Hopefully you weren't on the toilet this time too when they called about season 12.
Actually, I was.
Oh, give me a break. Come on, Willie.
I promise you. So this time around,
If you get all this good news on the toilet, you should just stay in the bathroom.
stay right. That's tends to be the thing. But I had got a message. I was at work and I had to go, and so I went to the restroom and I got this little funny message. Hey, this is whatever her name was at the time, and I'm looking for Willie for the next season of MasterChef. And so I went and I Googled her, looked her up, and then I was like, oh, she's legit. So
Yeah.
she then was like, send me a message. I sent her a message. She called me on the shitter. Uh, and I was like, please don't let no little gas come out. She'd be like, what are you doing? You know, because I would have to tell her. And so that's when she talked, and she was like, hey, this is what we got going on. Would you be interested? And I was like, well, just give me the details. And then again, this time I called my mom and was like, girl, this is what's going on. And so, yeah, that was second
Is that how
time
you
around.
talk? Is that how you talk to your mom? You call her and be like, I said, girl.
So it is something exciting. She
Yeah.
know, like, I'd be like, girl, you won't
Girl.
understand what's going on. And she'd be like, what's going on? But when I call and be like, mama, it's like, or I'd be like,
Yeah.
Alice, these people that piss me off. Like,
Uh
there's
oh.
levels
Got
to
it.
how
Got
I address
it.
her, and she warns herself on how to respond based off of how I approach her. That's just,
Amazing.
yeah.
So were you excited? Were you nervous? Or were you like, like, how were you feeling? Because I felt a few different ways. I, fe- I felt like, okay, this could really be my chance. Like, I felt like I could be the Luca of season 12. I felt like I had to do it for the fans. And then part of me
Right.
was like, am I just a pawn in the game?
Right.
Like, I was thinking a lot of
Uh,
things.
so for me, I honestly, I had told myself at the season 5, if MasterChef was to, if they was to ever approach me, I would probably not go back after season 5. And I
Right.
felt like season 5, I was robbed because I could have gone a little further, but because I didn't give in to the shit that what a lot of people don't understand though is, and of course they didn't show it, but when me and Christian was up at the bottom, I told the judges, they was like, well, who's going home? And I told them, uh, I can go home at this point. I can go. And they was like, why? And I said, because clearly y'all want to choose, a lot more drama than anything instead of skill set. And that didn't have anything to do with the challenge at the time, but I seen how the show was shaping up. And I was in the top, but never won. I was in the top,
Yeah.
but never won. And
I felt
so
like
I
that
just,
happened a little bit on season 12 too. I felt like you were
it
in the
did.
top quite a
It
bit.
did.
And I also noticed, like, because what a lot of people don't know is we spend a lot of time doing interviews because they only have 3 cameras for interviews and they do three
Right.
of us at a time. So in the beginning, it takes so much longer when there's so many of us because they have to interview all of us. And Michael and I even said many times, we're like, man, Willie must be giving the best interviews because he's in there for a long ass time. And then it comes to
Long
the
ass time.
edit, and there was hardly none of your interviews. And we're like,
Right.
they left out so much shit, and why?
Right. And I gave them, and I think too, I gave them a lot of my truth in the interviews, and I felt as though some of the truth was too much for them. During
Ooh,
season
spill some
12,
tea. Tell me
you know,
something. Tell me something you said in one of those interviews that didn't make it that you were bummed that didn't make it.
I
Got to
told
be
them that
something.
I don't know, basically I don't know what the hell is going on with these judges and judging me because I've never been anywhere where a pot pie is not rich and creamy.
Yeah. Wait, what was the criticism on your pot pie?
Yeah, they said my pot pie was too rich and creamy. I'm like, what the hell
Hmm.
y'all been? When I did the chicken and rice boudin balls, when we did
Hmm.
the DoorDash challenge and we had to elevate that. It was just little things, and I'm like, so y'all are telling me that as a chef and knowing my clientele, that this ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like there's a disconnect, and at this point, I'm gonna do whatever the hell I want to do. And so it's stuff like that that I feel like should have made it because I'm staying true to me. My clientele that I have now knows that I can elevate a dish. They know that my plating is a lot more professional, especially being in the industry, going to culinary school, and now looking at what I'm doing and where I'm going in this industry. Um, Becoming a sommelier. It's just little things now that I've done that I felt like wasn't acknowledged as
Yeah.
far as the show is concerned. But
Well, and I
again,
guess it's kind of tough. It's kind of tough too because, again, like you said, we're all such big personalities. They're getting so much more information the second time around because we've all played the game before, and we're all bringing our A. We're all bringing our A game. I was just shocked though because it felt like you were bringing so much heat, and I know your interviews had to have been fantastic, and I felt like we all got robbed. We all got robbed of that. So
right. And
yeah,
here's the thing too. So I know that a lot of the challenges, well, on our first season, I don't know about you, but on our first season, it was very much like, no, you can't try nobody's food. You can't do any
right.
of that. None of that. But the
None
second
of
time
that.
around, like they didn't care. And so
You know what
um
it is?
a lot
You know what it is? I think it actually comes back to Christian on this one because they couldn't get him to stop breaking the rules. Because he was the first one that came over and he tried trying some of my food, like first out the gate. And I'm like, yo, what are you doing? You're not supposed to do that. Because I was just playing by the rules of last time. I was like,
right,
don't touch my food. You're gonna get us in trouble. And I'm not trying to be like, the best kid in school, but I'm like, yo, don't ruin this for all of us. Chill the fuck out. Get
right,
away from my plate. Get away from my plate. And yeah, no one stopped him because it was just like backstage. Anytime like we had to put aprons on and get in line, he would get in the line wherever he wanted, and he would go to the other room upstairs when he was asked to be downstairs, and it was like, dude, why are you
yeah.
you're making this miserable for all of us.
Well, I think
But
I think at that point too, at that
they
point
also
too,
had different producers this time around that had different ideas of the rules, and they were told different things because there was like some days we were allowed to use the gym, some days we weren't, some days it was you could have your phone, some days it's take your phone off. Like they
right.
couldn't they couldn't make up their minds.
And I think that has a lot to do too with with the way that the contestants were with each other. And so I got along with everybody, but
Yes, you did.
your personality, Christian's personality, like there's like alpha male, then there's like alpha males, and I feel like everybody was trying to figure out who who they were and where they stand in the competition, and so when it came down to let's see who's going to be dominant, I felt like all the guys were on this power trip. Like it was me and Michael was just sitting there just looking at everybody. We was just like, oh, look at the guys fighting. Let me clutch my pearl.
And what's
Uh,
also funny, that's funny that you have that perspective because I didn't feel like I was putting off that energy. I felt like I was just
oh,
always
you was
I was just
much.
always defending myself against Christian's attacks. And it was getting so annoying. I was like, dude, this is your game plan is annoying the fuck out of me right now.
But I
And
don't think you probably didn't see it intentionally. But I felt like y'all came in because on your season you was the power dog, on his season he
yeah.
was the power dog, and now you have these male energies in this competition, and so it's like who's going to be on the top? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think
Which is
also
also sorry, go ahead.
the producers, I think it also has a lot to do with the producers because I feel like the producers were playing both sides. They would be in his ear saying, well, Derrick said this and did this. And then they would be in your ear where Christian said this and did this. And so because they did that, and I think because of the manipulation that was going on, it kind of got a little wonky here and there with the personalities and attitudes because what you
Yeah.
did off camera ultimately came on camera, and I know that they did that in our season a lot of times when it came down to Leslie and other contestants. They did that, and so I feel like since we've been a part of the show, we know the bullshit that comes with it. And so
Yeah.
if we know this, then we should be able to adapt and not give them what they want. But it's TV. And so, hey,
Right.
it is what it is.
Well, and also I thought it was very strange too because like in my interviews, I they weren't really asking me about anyone. I wasn't getting, hey, Dara said this or Christian said this or Willie was doing this. A lot of my interviews, except for Shelly, they did ask me about Shelly, but that's because Shelly lied in season 6 and tried to throw me under the bus and threw me into a pressure test to get rid of me because she was threatened by me because I was the one that saved the day and like gave her a fighting chance, and she tried to stab me in the back, and she brought that in to season 12 as well as I did because I was like, okay, well, you're here. I hope you learned from your mistake and you don't do that again. And then she
Right.
straight up did it again, and it bit her in the ass hard. And it's funny because there was this moment, and I think you remember this. And this is what I love about you because you're friends with everybody on set, and you're like everyone's like teddy bear. We all get to just like come and get a hug from you and chat with you and
Right.
and decompress with you. And so I go to heat up some food in the community room where the microwave is, and I walk in and it's you, Shelly, Christian, and I hear Shelly plotting against me. And you saw me because their backs were to me, and you were like, "Girl," but she was plotting to get rid of me, and it backfired again. But I wanted to know,
And again, and so here's the thing that I think is genius on MasterChef's side is because they know how to put these personalities together.
yeah,
Because there was a lot of people that I thought should have made it, didn't make it because they wasn't going to give the drama or they didn't have any type of lasting vendettas against anybody. And so I really believe like they've been studying what people are doing on social media, how people interact, excuse me. And what they did was they did that to bring the drama.
yeah, they did a good job at it.
Whatever y'all had on y'all last season, yeah, it came because there was no type of closure or anything. And so, hey, she felt the way, you felt the way. At any given point, if you had an opportunity to get rid of her and it was going to be you versus her because of whatever happened, you probably would have got rid of her too. And if
Yeah,
she had the
see,
moment, She had a moment to get rid of you. And so,
But
you
see,
know,
here's the difference. Here's the difference. In season 6, I was given a moment to take somebody out, and I didn't choose Shelly. And the producers came to me after, and they were like, "We thought you were going to choose Shelly. What happened?" And I chose Chris. I threw this. I got to take time away from a contestant, and I took the time away from
uh,
Chris instead of Shelly. And it had nothing to do with anyone's cook. I knew personally, and no slight to either of them, but in this setting, under the under the pressure of MasterChef, I know I can perform better. So I wasn't worried. I wasn't
right.
threatened by Shelly or Chris. Chris was driving me nuts in the green room. He would not shut up when we were not on camera. And I was like, I need some sanity. He doesn't listen to hard ice. When they tell him to shut up, he'll be quiet for 30 seconds, take a breath, and then start talking again. I'm like, I need
Yeah.
this dude out of here so I can have my sanity back. And no one understood that. And it was like out of left field. So, like, in all fairness, like, I was never threatened by Shelly. I was never taking stabs at her. And I only ever tried to save her when we were on the same team together. So
Yeah.
it really bugged me when they were like when she was like the last team challenge we crushed, which we did, and then she was like, I'm gonna pick the same blue team. She's like, I'm gonna pick the same blue team, and then didn't pick me. And I was like, well, that's shitty because I was a part of that blue team. I don't care to be on
Right.
your team. I don't care whose team I'm going to be on. I'm going to go do my best. But you're going to say I'm going to pick the same blue team and then not pick me was like, okay, I see where you still are holding this grudge and you don't want to pick the best team for the best situation.
So if I'm remembering correctly, I believe that one of the reasons why is because when they were doing the calling of the judges, I want to say it was like pick Derrick, pick Derrick, and I want to say because of that, that was the reason why your name was not picked when they did that
She didn't want to. She was rebelling.
because they wanted that to be on the team and she wasn't falling into to what they wanted.
Right.
And I think that was, if I'm not mistaken, if I recall her coming back and was like, why they kept telling me to pick Derrick, why they kept telling me to pick Derrick, and she didn't do that because of them forcing her to do that. And so for stuff like that, I honestly believe that there is a reason why or something is going to happen,
Yeah.
because literally when we did the restaurant takeover
Yeah.
for season 12,
Ugh.
I had already told, when we did that challenge, the wall challenge, I had already told them, hey, me and Christian is going to be the team captain. I already know this. Uh, and Michael and Shanika, y'all are going to be on my team if we have to pick, because Christian ain't going to pick you and he's not going to pick Michael.
Right.
This is going to be the team. I told them way before we even got there, right? And guess what? They said, hey, y'all the team captains, and we've already picked your teams.
Well, then
It
there
was
you
it
go.
was already, you know what I'm saying? It was already there. And then when we get to the competition, it's like they're constantly telling me on and off camera, you need to switch over your captainship. You need to give it up. You need to do this. You need to do that. And I was like, absolutely not. Because at this point, if I give it up, then you're going to tell me, hey, you're not fit to be captain. But I don't lead. I have a team right now of people that I manage for my events, and I don't have to yell, raise my voice, cuss them out, degrade them to get what I need to get done. I don't have to do that. That's not my management skills, and I've been in leadership for a long time. I know how to manage a damn team. And
Especially when
so
it's only two
everything
people.
was fine, but then when you come and tell me I can't hear you, and then you did a hostile team takeover, and now you don't have my team trusting me, they're not moving the way that they need to move. and you want me to give it up, and I'm not going to give it up. And so I felt like at that moment, had I given it up, we probably would have won because everybody on the team, everybody that was in the dining room was like, "Blue team, y'all food was amazing. Y'all seasoning, everything was on point." But it was just that I feel like it was again TV. You got me
Yeah.
versus Christian again. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not about to do
No,
anything extra.
and the problem is they really leaned into the villain on season 12, which they've never really done before, and that was Christian. Christian wanted to be the villain. They gave it to him. They fed into it. You know, the thing with Shelly and that rodeo challenge is they were giving her an opportunity to say, "Hey, look, bygones can be bygones. I want you on the team because you're the best one." Because it was a steak challenge. It was a steak challenge that she threw me into when she tried to get rid of me, and I cooked the best steak for Gordon Ramsay. So we're back in the same position. We got to cook steaks again, and she's not picking me. So Gordon, it's a test right there. Gordon's going, "Did you learn from your mistake? And
But I don't read that
are
like
you
that.
going to?"
I don't read it like that.
But see that, yeah, you don't. But that's
I
because
just feel
we
like
were in it.
right, y'all was in it, and so I read it as them trying to. I read that as it them trying to manipulate the situation or rig the game. That's how I looked into
Well,
it
and
because
see,
that's
they gave
bullshit.
two avenues. It was if she learns from her mistake, she'll win. If she doesn't, she's going to get destroyed. And
Right.
that's what happened. It was I
But
mean, it
yeah,
was kind of
so
written.
that proves my point because why would you even whisper, "Hey, Derrick, Derrick, Derrick"? Why would you do that? If it's supposed to happen organically, then let it happen organically. Don't
Sure.
tell me, don't tell me who to pick, and it's my team. Like, don't
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah, for
And I
sure.
think that that was the reason why. So
They
had
were
you
all just
just
too excited.
had they just shut their damn mouth, then it could have been, hey, the blue team back together again. But because, and I think I'm like that too. If you tell me to do A, B, C, D, and it's my choice, I'm going X, Y, Z
Yeah. Yeah.
because I don't know what you have hidden up under here for me to make me go this route. I'm not going to do it because you're telling me to do it. I'm going to do it because that's what feels right. That's what feels organic for me to do.
Yeah. Okay, shift gears here and talk about some positive stuff.
Okay.
Let's talk about because there was a as much as there's a lot of drama, there's a lot of wonderful things that have come from MasterChef. Um,
Oh yeah, of course.
I feel like you're friends with everyone, so this is kind of a probably a tougher question, but out of both seasons, what is one of your like best, most cherished friendships that you've gained, and was it unexpected? Is it someone that you would have never crossed paths with?
So season 5 has to be Leslie.
Yeah, you
Um
talk with
uh
Leslie.
Leslie has to be one of my favoriteest people in the world. And I just felt like he was easily misunderstood, and people never took the time to get to know him. They looked at his background and his personal life, and they judged him for that, and didn't get
Yeah,
past it. But after set, me and Leslie would sit at the bar and have drinks and beer, and we just talk about his life. And he hasn't just had it easy. You know what I'm saying? He's just like the rest of us. He goes through shit. It's life.
yeah.
But people don't look at that. And so I will say Leslie for season 5. And for season 12, I think the person that I was least expected to be like really close with is Emily. Um,
Oh yeah,
Emily and I actually for my birthday one year I went last year, whatever, yeah, last year, no, year before, whatever. I went to Chicago and Emily was the one person that was like, "Hey, you in the city? Let's hang out." And we hung out for a few days, and I met her, the dude that she's engaged with too now. I was there.
No, they broke up.
Oh, they not together anymore?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate. But I was there when they first linked up and they first
Hmm.
went out. I was there, and so I got to see
Sorry, I
that
just ruined that
happening.
story.
Yeah, I got to see that happening.
Oh,
But
Emily's amazing. She flew out to LA and did the podcast when I was doing them in person, and every all the comments were like, she's such a different person in real life than when she was on the
yeah,
show.
she is, and I think that again, people we have to learn how to sit down and have conversations with people and see where they're at. Because we'd be surprised that we have a lot of similarities with people, but because we see them for, a game or we see them as this, we never get past that and see the person for who they are. I like to say that I don't judge people. I see people for who they are, and I take it for face value. And so,
No, you really do. I mean, honestly, like one of my favorite parts every morning, like getting up to go to the bus, was just like coming around that corner in the hall. You were so welcoming to everybody, and it's that. I mean, you have a very, I mean, you're so understanding of everybody, right? And like I feel like that's kind of where we are with our times, is like a lot of people have conversations through a screen behind a keyboard, and they would never say half the shit they say there as they would in
right,
real life. And when you sit down with
right,
somebody like you and I in real life, how would we ever cross paths? But you and I can talk
yeah,
for hours, and we have. We had
yeah.
so many nights where we were just up drinking, playing. What's that rigged game that you kept always winning? Patty Pan,
Pity Pat.
Pity Pat. I mean,
Oh, those
some
are
of
some
the
good ass times.
they were.
Those
You
are some
fucking
good
make
times.
you fucking making crock pot chili in the hotel, and I mean, I feel like that's something I hope that I think that's something that we learn in those crazy moments where we get taken out of the real world, is that it's really important to get back to those personal relationships and
Right.
get off the screens as much as we can. Obviously, the screens aren't going anywhere and robots are coming, so we have to embrace that too, but we also have to hold on to these
Right.
these kind of.
And we have to also understand that um what is not your normal, what's not normal for you doesn't make shit weird. It's just not normal.
Yeah,
You
and
know
it's
what I'm
not
saying?
bad for
So
you. Like,
it's
yeah, yeah,
not.
yeah, yeah.
So what I find to be normal is shouldn't be weird to you because that's my life. You can choose to be like, oh, that's not me, or you can get to know a person and explore these things that they like or that they experience and say, oh, interesting. I wouldn't have never thought of that, or I would have never done that. And once we
Yeah.
get to that point where we can start making connections with folks, I feel like we as a society, as human beings, can be more appreciative of life. If nothing has taught us during the pandemic, that people are here one day and they're gone the next.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so
Absolutely.
it's one of those. Hey, I ain't got to like you, but I can respect you enough to not be to belittle you or to be disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because everybody don't get
Yeah.
along. But I would hate to see someone lose their life behind petty shit. You know
Yeah.
what I'm
And it
saying? Or
happens a lot.
so
Yeah.
it happens. And so if anything, I wish that, uh just for me, like meeting people, they walk away and saying, hey, the person that I see on camera is the same person I see off camera. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and not one of those situations where you're ass on camera and then you flip and you this person over here. You know what I'm saying? Is if we're
Yeah.
gonna commit to it, let's commit to it. you know?
Yeah. Well, and also there is the downside of like how they edit you too. Like you don't have control of that because there's some people like, and I feel like that's how it was with Emily. Emily wasn't being any different on camera. It was just the way it was edited. It came off that way, and and then there's like someone like me. Like when I'm in competition mode, like I don't care about anyone else. I'm just trying to be the best version of me, and I'm not like trying to make friends. I'm there to compete. And then it's like, and then when we walk off that stage, then you get real me. But that's because I'm not competing when I step off that stage. I'm just
And I
being
think that
me.
that was, and I'm glad that you said that because I think that that was I had that conversation with somebody on the show. Is it's one thing when we're on here when the cameras are on. It's one thing to be in competition mode, right? But when the cameras are off, I felt like we took things that should have just been just for TV and we made
Yeah.
them really personal. Uh, and we not me, people that's watching and listening, not me, but people took
I
those
definitely took some of them
opportunities
personal.
and they made them personal. You know what I'm saying? And so
Yeah.
it was little shit that's said and done, and then we get on camera, and then the viewers is like, well, where did all this drama come from? A lot of it started off camera, and now that
Yeah.
it's off camera, we bring it on camera. And so you, as the viewers, are disconnected, listening like, what happened on that ride
Yeah.
home on that van? Some shit was said, some feelings was hurt, and all this shit, and boom, here you go. Now we on recording, and it's this drama. But I think that has a lot to do with, you know,
Well, that had a lot to do with
again,
how they produced. That's how they
right,
produced this season because season 5, season 6, when we got in that van, it was hard ice. There was no talking. There was no
right,
change in storylines. We were escorted straight to our rooms, locked in the rooms, no phones. No, there was no way we could have created another storyline. Season 12, they put us on the bus. They didn't care. We're talking all the way home. We messed up storylines so bad because we were continuing the drama at home. But
right,
that season of MasterChef, we should have had cameras in the hotel room. And then on top of that, we were filming during COVID, so the pressure was even higher. We weren't getting the gym time release. We weren't getting to go to the pool. We weren't getting to go to the bar. We were stuck in a hallway
right,
together. We were all sitting
right.
in a hallway, and you learned who was friends and who wasn't real quick because you could hear the clicks outside the hallway.
In the
And
hallway, right?
that just made everything so much worse. And like Tommy,
Yeah,
I mean, I love Tommy, but I caught Tommy being a fucking asshole. Like I come on that vegan challenge, I served a cold dish, but every element on my plate had to be cooked and chilled. I had to roast beets, chop them up, chill them. I had to cook all the components. I had to make the sauce. Like I made all this shit, and then I walk around the corner and he's venting to somebody, and he's like, "Oh, he just did cold beets. What kind of cooking is that?" And I was like, "Tommy, I'm like, I thought we were friends. You're talking behind my back." I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like, come on. What that dish took every fucking second I had. Like, you're just being butthurt that it was pretty and it won. Like, come on,
and
Tommy.
and here's the thing. So here's the thing. I feel like even if that, I don't feel like that would have been malicious, right? I just felt like he, in his heart of hearts, He just needed to vent that. I like this motherfucker over here did a damn cold beef dish, and I cooked this, and it didn't win. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't think that was a malicious thing or just talking behind your back. I think that that's
For
just
sure, but how we were talking,
I
how it
needed
changes
to
the dynamic is I overheard
right,
it where I normally wouldn't have.
right, and that's something that hell, we've all said, "Hey, how the hell that dish made it?" Because even though, and mind you, and I'm saying this for the record, even though me and Emily is really good friends and stuff, I've told her this. How the hell did you win that spice challenge and you don't even eat spice? You ain't even
Yeah.
taste the damn dish with your shrimp.
Yeah.
Hell, I
It's
made
crazy.
etouffee and they talked and raved on how good that shit was, and it didn't even place. So that's
Well,
not me talking shit. That's just me stating the facts.
here's how you really know. Before on our season 5 and 6, when we got done cooking a dish, no one could touch it. We would do the snake line. We'd get to look at everyone's dish. It would get judged. We would leave. We would never come back into that room.
Right.
This time around, we would come back in and we could see when the fourth wall ate our food. And that's how you knew whose food was actually good or not. The cameraman would be eating your food. And you're like, oh,
Right.
all my extras are gone. Where did it go? Oh, cameraman ate it. I guess I had the really good dish. How
Right.
come so and so's dish is still sitting on the table? Oh, because fourth wall didn't like
Right.
it.
Right.
Fourth
And,
wall
and
is the
so
real judges.
and so that's that just goes to show you, you know, hey, like you could do what you do, but that doesn't always mean, you know, it's gonna read. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's a lot of moments where I was like, I cooked my motherfucking ass off. I
Yeah.
did that. I did
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
because of for whatever reasons, it didn't make it.
Yeah.
It didn't
That
make
part
it.
hurts. That part hurts so much.
And then you're like, you made it?
Yeah.
I tried those things and I was not impressed, but hey,
That's
it
how
is
the
what it
game
is.
goes. Okay, so I want
That's
to
how
ask
it
you one
goes.
more question. I want to ask you one more question, and then we're going to play a
Uh-huh.
game, and then we can wrap this up.
Okay.
Okay. So, one question that I feel like is my new question that I'm asking to everybody is what advice would you give someone that wants to try out for MasterChef, a future MasterChef hopeful? What's your advice?
Uh Stay true to you. And don't apologize for what you do and who you
I
are.
like that. I like
Uh,
that.
uh, because a lot of
That's advice that
times,
falls into all of life, though.
right, and that's for anybody, not just competition. That's just stay true to you and be unapologetically you, because I feel like if you allow people to come in and manipulate the situation, when you have to look at that person in the mirror and you don't recognize them, you've just given your soul away. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So stay
I love
true to
that.
you, and just own who you are. And if that person that you see is manipulative, conniving, a bitch, whatever, then be that person.
Willie, you wild. We're gonna play a little game, a little rapid fire questions, and then you answer off the top. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So you're given. You have two choices: crawfish and chocolate, or okra and strawberries. Which one are you choosing, and what are you making?
Crawfish and chocolate. I'm
Okay.
making a seafood mole.
There you go. Simple. I gave it to you too easy. All right. If you could cook for one dead celebrity, who would it be and why?
Oh shit. Oh shit. One dead celebrity. Uh, oh, Luther Vandross.
Oh shit. Okay. And why?
He's just my spirit animal.
What is your favorite travel accessory? And don't look left.
I would say a nice handbag and a pair of glasses.
That's it. You can travel the world with that. That's your favorite.
I can try to work with that.
All right. Okay. Last question. You got judges Gordon, Aaron, and Joe. Give me the fuck, Mary, kill.
Fuck Aron, Mary, Gordon, kill Joe.
I knew it because you're getting the spicy on the first one. You're getting longevity with Gordon, and we just got to get Joe out.
That's just where the cookie crumbles.
That's the way it crumbles. Willie, thank you so much for your time, man. I missed you.
I miss
I'm
you
not too
too.
far away. I'm not too far away from you. I'm up here in Dallas quite a bit, so let's try and get together. Yeah.
So why you haven't come to Houston?
I did. I actually did one day, but I think you were actually not in town. I think you might have been on that trip in Chicago with Emily when I went through.
Yeah. Well, you got my number.
I got you. All right, brother. I love you. Thank you for everything.
Love you too, and thank
Now,
you. I had such an incredible time.